Hi mga kawangmat! In this video, we will be discussing the models of quadratic functions. So our only objective is model real-life situation using quadratic functions. First, determine whether each function is linear or not. So aalamin natin dito kung ito ba ay linear function. Titingnan natin alin sa mga ito o mga examples na to ang linear function at i-check natin siya. So let's have the given. So, which of the following functions are linear? So, first, this is linear function. This one, another, this one, and this one. Okay. Now, I know some of you will wonder why this example is not a linear function. Okay, kasi if we're going to simplify this two, these are factors of a trinomial. Okay? So, kapag minultiply natin to, this will become x squared. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng y is equal to x squared plus x minus 6. So, since ang degree natin dito ay 2, hindi na siya linear function. Okay? Now, ano naman tawag natin dito sa mga naiwan? What do we call these functions na hindi naka-check? Ito yon. So, I have here y is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 1, y is equal to x squared, y is equal to 2x squared plus 5, y is equal to x squared plus x minus 6, y is equal to 7 minus x squared. Ano nga ba itong mga to? Kung hindi siya linear function, ano ang tawag natin dito? So, ito yung tinatawag nating quadratic functions. What is a quadratic function? O ano nga ba ang quadratic function? So, it is a function that can be written in the form of y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, or pwede rin namang f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Pwede rin naman yung f natin, papalitan natin siya ng c, any letter, depende sa kung anong representation. Basta kung gagamit tayo ng iba, halimbawa f of x. Okay? Ang i-replace natin dito sa y. So, itong y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, ito yung form ng quadratic function. Now, remember, your a, b, and c should be real numbers. Tatandaan na ang a, b, at c natin should be real numbers and your a should not be equal to 0. Tatandaan ito. Your a should not be equal to 0 kasi kapag ito ay nag-0, that will only become linear function. So, kapag nag-0 itong a natin, yung value mo ng a, magiging linear function lang siya. Kaya dapat, ang a natin should not be equal to 0. Now, another way para malaman natin kung quadratic function siya is tingnan natin yung exponent niya. Look at the highest degree. Kapag ang highest degree natin ay nasa variable, nasa second degree, o yung variable natin ay ito. Kung mapapansin nyo, ito ay second degree, o yung degree ng function natin ay nasa 2. Ibig sabihin, that is a quadratic function. So, yun lang ang titingnan. Your a should not be equal to 0. Your a, b, and c are real numbers. And the degree of the function should be on the second degree. Now, the quadratic function graph is parabola. So, its graph is always parabola. Kapag nag-graph tayo ng quadratic function, ang laging result nito o result ng graph natin ay laging parabola. Ano nga ba yun? These are the examples. So, if your a is greater than 0, the graph of the parabola opens upward. But, if your a is less than 0, the graph of the parabola opens downward. Now, identify if the graph represents quadratic function. Okay, is this a quadratic function or not? Yes, this is a quadratic function because our graph is a parabola. Number 2, is this a quadratic function? No, because the graph is not parabola. Number 3, is this a quadratic function? No, because this is a graph of a linear function. Next, is this a quadratic function? Yes, because our graph here is parabola and it opens downward. Next, number 5. This is a quadratic function because the graph is parabola and it opens upward. And the last one, this is not a quadratic function because the graph is not a parabola. Which of the following real-life models represents a linear function or quadratic function? So, dito naman, you will be given a real-life models, examples, and then identify natin. Let us try to identify if the given models are linear function or quadratic function. Number 1. Richard predicted that the number of mango trees, represented by X, planted in a farm could yield y is equal to negative 20x squared plus 2,800x per year. So this is what kind of model or real life model? Is this a linear function or quadratic function? Yes, this is a quadratic function because the highest degree of a variable is 2. Ito siya. So the highest degree is 2. So therefore, this is a quadratic function. Another. A banana dealer has a total cost function. So, nirepresent ko yung cost function as C of X, is equal to 10x plus 2,500, where X is the number of kilos of bananas and the profit function. So, yung profit function ko, nirepresent ko siya as P of X, is equal to 18x minus 2,500. So, what is this? What kind of real life model is this? A linear function or a quadratic function? Alright, this is a linear function because the highest degree of a variable is 1. Next. If 2,400 feet is to be used to fence a rectangular lot, then the area of the fenced lot is represented by A of X is equal to X times the quantity of 1,200 minus X. So, this is what kind of real-life model? Is this a linear function or a quadratic function? Okay, this is a quadratic function because the highest degree of the variable is 2. Now, kung tatanungin nyo, asa ng 2? The exponent is just 1. Okay, so, pag sinimplify natin to, pag minultiply natin siya, we will have negative x squared here. So, therefore, the highest degree is 2. So, this is a quadratic function. Which of the following equations represents quadratic functions? So, I am giving you 5 examples. So, identify natin kung alin dito ang quadratic function. So, this is not a quadratic function because the degree is 1. Another. Is this a quadratic function? Yes, because the highest degree is 2 and our A is not equal to 0. Next. Is this a quadratic function? Pag nilipat natin to, tinranspose natin sa kabila, we will have y is equal to x plus 20. So, this is not a quadratic function because the highest degree is 1. Next. This is not a quadratic function. Why? Because the highest degree is 3. In quadratic function, the highest degree should be 2. Since this is 3, this is not a quadratic function. Next. Very good. This is a quadratic function. Why? Kagaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, pag nag-multiply tayo nito, magiging x squared siya. So, kapag nag-multiply tayo ng dalawang binomials na ang degree nito ay 1 and this is 1, when we are multiplying two variables with the same basis, we are adding their exponents. That's why we will have 1 and 1 that will become x squared. So, this is an example of quadratic functions. Okay. Examples of quadratic models. So, ito, I'm giving you examples or illustrations of quadratic models. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ayan, makikita natin yung yung construction niya or yung structure ay in the form of parabola. Okay? Ito naman, let me explain this part. When we throw a ball at hanggang pagbaba niya, yung form niya, ang napo-form sa kanya ay parabola. And then also, the San Juanico Bridge. Okay? So, these are all examples of quadratic models. Okay? It's quiz time. So, I am giving you 5 items. You may get your pen and paper. Try to answer the given questions. If you got 4 and 5 or 4 and above, you are doing great. So, I am congratulating you in advance. Let's start. So, I'm giving you 5 seconds to answer each question. Number 1. The graph of a quadratic function is a smooth curve called, these are the choices. I'm giving you 5 seconds. Okay, the answer is parabola. Very good. Next question. Which of the following represents a quadratic function? Here are your choices. I'm giving you 5 seconds. Okay, so the answer is A. Y is equal to 3 plus 2x squared. Okay, so I know siguro yung iba ang sagot ay ito. No, ito ha, this is not the answer because this is not hindi ito yung tinitingnan natin. Pag sinabi nating degree, we are looking at the variable, yung degree ng variable natin. And then this one, hindi rin ito. Dun tayo lagi. Okay, so the answer is letter A. I hope you got 2 points already. Okay, next. Quadratic function is any function of the form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are real numbers and these are the choices. So the answer is your a should not be equal to 0. So, hindi itong tatlo. Your a should not be equal to 0. Kasama yan sa discussion natin kanina. Next. Which of the following situations represents quadratic function? Alright, so the answer is letter D. The total cost, C of X, of producing a product is given by C of X is equal to 0.1x squared plus 500x plus 2,000. So, ito, ayan. So, dito tayo lagi titingin. So, the highest degree is 2. So, the answer is letter D. Next. Which of the following graph represents quadratic function? Alright, so the answer is, this is the easiest question. So the answer is letter A. The graph of a quadratic function should be parabola. Alright, I hope you got 4 and 5. And if you got 4 and 5, please comment down your score below so we can congratulate you. Congratulations!